Good morning, class. So for today, we're going to discuss about the analysis of assessment data and interpretation and communication of grades. So at the end of this lesson, the students will be able to analyze data and interpretation and communication of grades, utilize assessment results to monitor students' learning progress and achievements, then third, respect each other's opinion. Okay, class, do you have any idea what is analysis of assessment data? Okay, very good. So first, let us know what is analysis of assessment data. So when we say assessment data, teachers would make sure that the grades of the students will reflect their learnings and performances. So in addition, assessment data may become distorted for a number of reasons by providing incentives for perfect attendance, joining the extracurricular activities, and having a good conduct in class may inflate the learner's grade. So when we say inflate, the grades of a student will increase, but the problem arises when the score in national standard just do not compare with their classroom performances. So dili siya magatugma. Kaya there are some instances that the teachers would not recognize the students' effort and the classroom participations. So it turns out that their grades in the standard test is high, but it turns out too low. So to prevent these issues, a teacher should remember that the grading should be the student's scholastic performances. Why? It's because the policy contained in section 144 of the Manual of Regulation for Private Basic Education, DepEd and other number 88 service of 2010 states that the final grade of rating given to a pupil or student in a subject should be based surely on his scholastic performance. Any addition or demotion to the grades in the subject for a co-curricular activities, attendance, or misconduct shall not be allowed, except as may otherwise be implicitly provided by an individual school in an appropriate issue, once or publication, and provided further that such adjustment is relevant to the subject content. And requirements in the elementary level, the misconduct of pupil may affect read and character education. So there is also a similar provision is found in the Manual of Regulation for Private Higher Education, Section 110, CMO 40, Series of 2008. It states that their non-cognitive students' characteristics like punctuality and conduct are also important, but this should not be mixed with test scores and other indicators for academic achievements. In a single grade, so this is from Kobes, Jane, and Burridge 2010, as commonly practiced marks for conduct and traits in the basic education levels are recorded separately.
Okay, let's proceed to the interpretation and communication of grades. The main purpose of grading is to communicate information to students and parents about students' achievement or goal attainment. This is stated by Nitko and Brooker 2011. So parents have the right to know about the goal of their children, so the teacher has the responsibility to explain the different grading system because this is the responsibility. There are some instances that the teachers and parents' understanding about grades will not coincide, because there are some grades that in absolute terms or in a relative term, so the teachers will certainly make the parents understand about how the children getting that grades, and that's it. Now let's proceed to the grading system in the Philippines. According to Cubis, Sain, and Burridge 2010, marking of grade system have two dimensions. The first one is the type of comparison, and the second one is the type of symbol. So they define mark as a cumulative grades that reflect academic achievement. So now let's find out what are the two types of comparison. So the first one is the norm reference, and the second one is the criterion reference or absolute standard grading. So let us first talk about non-reference reading. So this grading is focuses on performance of the one pair, so meaning to say the grading is with relative standard, so there is a predetermined grade distribution. Just like, for example, the top 10% of the class may be given an A and the next is 25% gets A, B. So in this way, it could promote an unhealthy competition among students because only few you are given the chance to have high grades. So by these times, the classroom creates jealousy and misunderstanding that create with peace. Let's proceed to the second one, the criterion. This grading is commonly used by many educators because this grading would always reflect the students' achievements of learning target as specified in the curriculum. So, ani dili ta magkakita og bias kay ang teachers always look at effort of the students. Criterion also has it pitfalls, so naay siya negative. So, the first one is the experience. Teachers may have difficulty setting reasonable expectation of students. So, maglisod ang teacher for the teacher to help the students. They assess the students, especially students that have lower cognitive level. Meaning to say, student is low ang iyang pagsabot sa mga butang. Makatabang siya sa teacher anak kay para sa previous na lesson, gagmay siya ang score, makabawi siya sa next nga quizzes para ilang grades mo increase, mao na siya ang criterion. Now, let's proceed to the approaching of grading. So, local and international schools offering basic and tertiary education use codes in reporting students' progress and achievements. So, there are 5 different codes in giving the students progress. So, the first one is the numerical grades. Just like 99, 98, 97, 96, 95. So, the system of using numerical grade is popular and well understood because they are preferred since they are conveniently summarize the overall performance of students. So, let us proceed to the second type of approaches to grading, which is the letter grade. So, basically, it is ABC. For example, A plus, A and A minus indicates excellent performance. B plus, B and B minus indicates good performance. C plus, C and C minus indicates satisfactory performance. So the third type is two-way category grades. Pass, fail, then satisfactory and unsatisfactory. This type of approach is degrading is less stressful in students because they don't need to feel pressure about how grade point averages, but there are some students may tend to aspire, meaning to say they want to accomplish a particular goal for a minimum level of competence to pass the subject. This system of grading provides students strong and work point. Next is checklist. Checklist may be simple or elaborate, so this type of approach to grading, the teacher simply places a check mark next to the observer. Checklists are common in the elementary level and can very well replace or supplement traditional grading and reporting system. Let's proceed to standard base, advanced, proficient, beginning, or similar. So, standard-based grading requires teacher base grades from definite learning standard and compels them to distinguish product, process, and progress criteria assigning grade. So, in this approach to grading, it creates a more equitable learning environment as students are given clear learning targets and rubrics that they can use to reach mastery of classroom content. Based because it is measured how students are able to reach the standard in terms of content and performance. And that's all. Thank you.